9 types of intelligence. In today's video, I'll talk about intelligence, and in particular, I'll focus on the multiple intelligences theory. This theory was developed in 1983 by the psychologist and Harvard professor Howard Gardner in his book, Multiple Intelligences. We all know that intelligence is not a one-dimensional resource. Since we go to school as young kids, we understand that some of us are better at subjects such as math, some of us are better in languages, and others excel in physical activities, for example. These natural propensities reflect the type of intelligence that most characterizes us. Some scientists believe that intelligence is innate, and therefore it's very difficult to modify because it's conditioned by our genetic heritage. Others believe that intelligence can be trained, and that we can develop it in every moment of our life. Both points are correct, actually. Each of us has a type of innate intelligence superior to the others, but this does not mean that training cannot improve the other types of intelligence as well. It's important to be aware of the different types of intelligence so that each of us can identify and train its strengths and choose the profession that suits us best. I repeat this sentence because it's the key point of this video. It is important to be aware of the different types of intelligence in order to enhance your own strengths, not in order to fix your weaknesses. How many times have you met people working in a job they're clearly not suited for? For example, have you ever been a guest in a hotel where you found yourself dealing with a rude receptionist, a person with perhaps great technical skills who would do a great job in another department, but who clearly isn't suitable for a customer-facing job? Or take a soccer team, for example. Pick the best strikers, the top goal scorers in the world, and have them playing in defense. Do you think they'd play as well? Although they're great in their roles, if they play defense, they'll probably end up conceding 5 goals per game. These are just a couple of the numerous examples I could make. I'm sure that through your lives you all had experiences where you found yourselves dealing with people in a job role that was clearly not suitable for them. Albert Einstein once said, "Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll live its whole life believing that it's stupid." Gardner, in his theory of multiple intelligences, describes 9 different types of intelligence and argues that no one possesses them all together at excellent levels, but all are very useful in helping through our lives. Now let's see what these 9 types of intelligence are. You'll surely recognize yourself in one or more of those listed. If you'd like, tell us which one in the comments. I'm curious to see what's the most common type of intelligence among the followers of this channel. So let's begin. Number 1. Linguistic Intelligence. Linguistic intelligence is reflected in the ability of an individual to use a clear and effective vocabulary. This type of intelligence is common among writers, journalists, poets, and linguists, for example. Having lived abroad for a long time, I've met many people from all over the world, some of whom already spoke the new language fluently after a few months, while others still struggle after many years. The former are clearly endowed with superior linguistic intelligence. This type of intelligence is useful not only for writing correctly and learning foreign languages with ease, but also for skillfully conversing and speaking in public, always finding a way to translate even sophisticated concepts into simple words, and being able to understand and associate with great ease even the most complex terms. Number 2. Logical Mathematical Intelligence. Logical mathematical intelligence is the ability to use logic to establish cause and effect links between various elements and the ability to juggle numbers easily. This type of intelligence is typical of scientists, engineers, and technologists, for example. Those in possession of it love arithmetic, deductive reasoning, and games of logic. It should be noted that logical mathematical intelligence involves both cerebral hemispheres, the left one, which recalls mathematical symbols, and the right one, which deals with building and elaborating concepts. Young adults with lots of logical intelligence are interested in patterns, categories, and relationships. They're drawn to arithmetic problems, strategy games, and experiments. Number 3. Spatial Intelligence. Spatial intelligence is typical of sculptors, painters, pilots, and architects. This type of intelligence consists in the ability to perceive shapes and objects in space. Those who possess it normally have a developed memory for environmental details and know how to orient themselves in intricate places and recognize objects according to very complex mental patterns. This type of intelligence is particularly important for all those people who like to deal with planning and designing. Young adults with this kind of intelligence may be fascinated with mazes or jigsaw puzzles, or spend free time drawing and daydreaming. Number 4. Body-Kinesthetic Intelligence. Body-Kinesthetic Intelligence is the capacity to manipulate objects and use a variety of physical skills. Those who possess this type of intelligence also have strong coordination skills. Athletes, dancers, surgeons, and craftspeople exhibit well-developed bodily kinesthetic intelligence. Number 5. Musical intelligence. Normally, musical intelligence is located in the right hemisphere of our brain, but people with musical culture elaborate the melody in the left one. Those who have musical intelligence usually have a marked talent for playing musical instruments or for singing. It goes without saying that this type of intelligence is predominantly possessed by composers, musicians, and singers. Interestingly, there's often an effective connection between music and the emotions, and mathematical and musical intelligences may share some common thinking processes. Young adults with this kind of intelligence are usually singing or drumming to themselves. They're usually quite aware of sounds others may miss. Number 6. Interpersonal Intelligence. Interpersonal intelligence is the ability to understand and interact with others effectively. Those who possess it use their empathic abilities to connect with others and understand their fears, feelings, and needs. This type of intelligence allows those who have it to know human beings, to understand their motivations, and, if necessary, to manipulate them. Whatever type of intelligence you most associate yourself among the 9 explained in this video, this is probably the one that all of us should develop in some way, since it's fundamental in everyday relationships with others, both work-related and personal. This type of personal intelligence allows us to recognize the character and personality of those around us, to anticipate the behavioral reactions they'll have, and to act accordingly. Usually this kind of intelligence is found in teachers, managers, political leaders, and good entrepreneurs. Young adults with this kind of intelligence are leaders among their peers, are good at communicating, and seem to understand others' feelings and motives. Number 7. Intra-Personal Intelligence. Intrapersonal intelligence for an individual is the ability to fully understand oneself, including one's own feelings, one's fear, and one's weaknesses, in order to improve oneself to achieve one's personal goals. This is the type of intelligence that you can most develop by following this or other YouTube channels on personal growth that help you think about yourself by speaking to you frankly, but without judgment. This type of intelligence is common among actors, psychologists, and philosophers. These young adults may be shy. They're very aware of their own feelings and are self-motivated. Number 8. Naturalist Intelligence. Naturalist intelligence is typical of biologists, astronomers, and anthropologists, and indicates the ability to make relevant distinctions within the natural world, such as distinguishing one plant from another, or one animal from another animal, and so on. This ability was clearly of value in our evolutionary past as hunters, gatherers, and farmers. It continues to be central in such roles as botanist or chef. It's also speculated that much of our consumer society exploits the naturalist intelligences, which can be mobilized in the discrimination among cars, sneakers, kinds of makeup, and the like. Number 9. Existential Intelligence. The last in this list is Existential Intelligence, which represents sensitivity and capacity to tackle deep questions about human existence, such as the meaning of life, why we die, and how we got here. It's important to emphasize that this type of intelligence allows those who possess it to ask themselves these questions, but also to accept that the answers to these questions are partial, in constant evolution, and that they can't be simply grasped in a rational way. Existential intelligence is typical of philosophers, psychologists, and partly also of physicists. To conclude, we can establish that these different types of intelligence are more or less innate in individuals. They're not static and can be developed through exercise. Furthermore, if not kept trained, an intelligence can become weaker over time. So it's important to keep our brain in continuous exercise. As mentioned in the introduction of this video, knowing how to recognize the intelligence closest to our attitudes allows us to understand not only which studies to undertake to develop it further, but also how to use it in order to achieve a successful life. What do you think of these 9 types of intelligence? Do you think they're a good type of classification for our intelligence? Or do you prefer other classifications such as IQ and emotional intelligence? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to push the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Also, don't forget to activate the notification bell. This way you'll be notified every time a new video is uploaded on the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.